with Darling 46, page number 11, I think so. Am I right? By carrying the silver and other things, I doubt she might have got a crick on her back, a cramp on her back, because every day she was coming and taking the things. You see, she had trouble lugging. Lugging means pulling, dragging. Lugging those large vases. And I am worried. I doubt she got a crick in her back from the crockery. Crick. You can say cramp, or you can say the hardened skin. Time isn't hardened skin. That's also holding these kind of things or pulling like this. My mother shook her head pityingly. Here, shook her head pityingly means, what is the meaning? Without no other choice. Without no other choice. Suppose, Abhilash, when you come back from Dubai to Balayanaad, isn't it? When you come back to Balayanaad, you have brought 2-3 things from Dubai. 2-3 things, pen. You brought 2-3 good pen from Dubai. When you reach Dubai, next day after quarantine, not next day means after quarantine, 7 days quarantine will be there, isn't it? Even though there is RT-PCR and the vaccination, there may be quarantine. There may be quarantine. After the quarantine, next day your younger cousin brother came there. Younger one. Chotu, he is studying in class 7 or 8. Came there. And his eyes fell upon those pens. He wanted to make use under soaping, surfing. Cheta, 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 cheta. And when he called 100 times cheta, 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 and Abhilash became a chetan, isn't it? A brother, elder brother. And he became a younger brother. Then the younger brother asked, Abhilash cheta, you have 3 pens, isn't it? Shall I take one? From morning till evening, he was calling him, my dear elder brother, elder brother, elder brother. Then how can I deny a pen? If it were only one, I could tell. But there are 3 pens. How can I deny? So, unwillingly, Abhilash will, you take. There is no way to deny. Abhilash, we agree to take. In this way, Sanam, next time when you come, you will come through the Turangam, isn't it? Tunnel, isn't it? Don't stop there to take the photos, okay? Kudaran, isn't it? Don't take stop the vehicle inside the tunnel and take the photos.
Yes, sir.
Drive faster and cross it, okay? So, what I mean is that here, the old classmate of my mother came to visit our house, and whenever she goes, she asks certain things, crockery, antiques, those things, these things. And since she was the friend of my mother, Nestle, since she was the friend of my mother, and she was very close to me, to my mother was unable to say a no. Unwillingly, that is the meaning, pityingly. without any choice. She agreed. Okay, TK, okay. I would never have dared ask her. And I didn't have the courage to ask her. Ask my mother, why are you giving all these things? Why are you giving all these things to her? I did not have my courage. I stood silent in front of her. You see, when we read these things, Kevin, we should see, is there any moment that we had experienced in our life like this? Some or other way, where at home or in the hostel, in the school, or some other places, any kind of experience we have seen it or not. When we remember such kind of incidents that had happened in our life, then this literature has meaning. It should help you to recollect. I recollect many things. That is why I told many incidents, isn't it? There are some unknown characters there in that stories. In those stories, there are many unknown characters. I am offhand, it comes to me certain memories that I share. So this literature is becoming a creation in my mind. This literature becomes an active literature in my brain. That is why I recollect. You have to remember like that. So that is why I bring certain incidents so that you may connect yourself and recollect and think. I would never have dared ask her. She suggested it to me herself. She even insisted. She wanted to save all my nice things. If we have to leave here, we shall lose everything, she says. So when I asked her once, my mother told, or very often when the classmate Darling takes the things from her house, mother said to the daughter, my dear, let she take, because we are in the war. So one day our house will be destroyed. Once our house is destroyed, everything will be lost. So it is better let she go and take and keep it safe at home, there in her house, so that once we can collect it. In this way, mother was soothing, 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 pacifying, or talking with sympathy, talking with justification to her daughter. Clear now? You see, she wanted to save all my nice things by keeping in the friend's house. If we have to leave here, we shall lose everything. Underline those two sentences. She wanted to save all my nice things. If we have to leave here, we shall lose everything. Have you agreed with her that she should keep everything? I asked my mother, when you give you told, okay, she is giving everything to Darling so that she may keep it for us in her house. Then I asked, Mama, did you tell her that keep everything there so that once you have to return to me? Did you tell all these things to her? You see, have you agreed with her that she should keep everything? I asked. As if that is necessary, my mother cried. It would simply be an insult to talk like that. Monet, if I tell her, don't use this, you keep it there in the box itself, and once I come, I will collect. That does not That does not sound nice, isn't it? That does not sound nice. Suppose you see flood is coming. There is a news that Mullaperiyar is going to open. Idiki Dam is going to open. So those people who are living near the rivers or those areas feel that their house may be flooded. So they take certain things, documents and important things to somebody's, together with many household crockeries also, and to faraway place and tell them to keep it till the flood gets over. Can we tell those people don't use crockeries and all these things? It will be impolite, isn't it? It will be impolite. If they want, they can let them use. Once we need, let them give us back. That is what she says. My dear daughter, how can we tell that lady that you should not use it? How can we tell? You see, it would simply be an insult. If I say like that, it would hurt her feelings. It would hurt her feelings. There are 14, 15 students and more than two-thirds is here without videos. What happened? Sandra, Sayujya, what is the problem? Akshay? Aram. Oh, Aram, regional manager. Nestle, Sandra, Pavitra, Aparna, Sayujik. It is class 11. I don't feel it to call out the names and asking you to switch on the video. I don't feel it. I do respect you people. You are the senior students of the school, not like the little students of the lower class that open the video, attend the class, keep silence. That should not be there. You are serious students. You have selected your subject seriously. So you should have that seriousness in you. I could see many students without videos. Very poor, very poor. It is, you see, it would simply be an insult to tell them to switch on the video. You see, correct sentence is here. Abhilashi, am I right? It would be an insult. It would be an insult to tell them to switch on the video. The author is also standing with us. If you can't switch on the video, you may go. I will take with these 3-4 students. Kindly say goodbye to me and go. I should not. I should not say like that. Isn't last year did I say like that? No, but I should say like that now. Okay, let them go. No problem. So it would simply be an insult to talk like that and think about the risk she has running. She is running. Each time she goes out of her door with a full suitcase or bag. I have told her to keep at home. And you see, we are not giving a vehicle. We are not giving a TA, traveling allowance. We are not giving a single money. She is carrying our things. How much trouble she is taking for us. And to such a fellow, how can we tell? How can we tell that you should not use it? My mother seemed to notice that I was not entirely convinced. My mother seemed to notice that I was not entirely convinced. My mother could understand that I was not satisfied with that answer. She looked at me reprovingly and with a corrective mind, reprovingly, finding fault with, why don't you understand? That is a question. I told you, na, she is taking all the things for our sake and we are not paying her. She is taking that much pain to carry all these things. Why don't you understand this? Why don't you understand this? She looked at me reprovingly, and after that we spoke no more about it. No more about it. So, mummy didn't like that I should ask like that. I should ask like that. So, thereafter, I did not ask. Just a minute. Today I will send a message in the group. Just so meanwhile, I had arrived at the station without having paid much attention to things on the way. Meanwhile, this is a flashback. While she was returning from door number 46, she was thinking about the things that had happened very many days ago. Meanwhile, by this time, I had arrived at the station. Thinking on all these, I have arrived at the station. RMI, your matter I understand. Okay, RMI, your matter I understand. Alan Shibu, you need not attend the class. Today you need not attend the class. Alan, Shibu, no need to attend the class. No problem. Meanwhile, I had arrived. So, meanwhile, I had arrived at the station without having paid much attention to the things on the way. Since I was thinking about all these things, I could not attend what all things were there on the roadside. I was walking in familiar places. I was walking through the familiar places. Those area I was very well known. I very well knew about those places. I was walking in familiar places again for the first time since the war, after the war. But I did not want to go further than was necessary. I did not want to upset myself with the sight of streets and houses full of memories from the precious time. You see, she tells about the Alan Murray is no need to connect. You can delete, you can exit, no need to connect. So, both Alan, no need. So, she says that the way, the road she was walking, it was very well known to her. So the splendid streets she was recollecting, marvelous buildings she was recollecting. And in the war, everything was Aparna, you exit, no need to come. No need to come. I will send a message after talking to me. So, she remembered how marvelous the street was, how marvelous the street was, how beautiful the street was, and in the war everything was destroyed. And she says, I do not want to look at the street so that the old memories may come to my mind. Old memories may come to my mind. So, I didn't want to upset myself with the sight of streets and houses full of memories from a precious good olden time. In the train back, so she was going back by train. In the train back, I saw Mrs. Darling in front of me again. You see, in the train back, I saw Mrs. Darling in front of me again, as I had the first time I met her. It was the morning after the day my mother had told me after her. So on that day, my mother told me about her. My mother gave me the address, 46, Darling. Next day, when I was going back train, I met her on the train. I had got up late and coming downstairs, I saw my mother about to see someone out. So on that day, she was coming out from the first floor and she saw somebody was standing outside. A woman with a broad back, a fatty woman, a woman with a broad back. There is my daughter. So my mother says to her slowly, don't make noise. My daughter is inside. She doesn't like that you are taking the things. So be silent. My mother told, my daughter is inside. Said my mother. She beckoned to me. She recollected me. She told about me. Beckon, call into memory, recollect. The woman nodded, agreed. Okay, yes, I will take care. And picked up the suitcase under the coat rack. And she took the suitcase. She wore a brown coat and a shapeless hat. That was her dress. She wore a brown coat and a shapeless hat. Does she live far away? I asked, seeing the difficulty she had going out of the house with a heavy case. So she pulled the suitcase and she went out with the heavy suitcase. At that time, I asked my mother, does she live far away? Whether she had to carry this heavy luggage far away? You see? At that time, my mother told, no. Marconi Street, door number 46. Her name is Darling. Clear now? This is the situation where, hey, Sayuji, no need to come here now. No need to attend the class today. I have told Alan Shibu, Alan Burgess, everybody, those who are entering now, no need to enter. Time is out. So, you see, this is the situation. This is the time where and when her mother gave her the address. Name of the lesson, the address. When she was coming down from the first floor, this lady was carrying the heavy suitcase and going out. And my mother told slowly, don't make noise, my daughter is there. When she took away the heavy suitcase out, I asked my mother whether she lives far away, any auto to be arranged for her, any taxi is needed for her. At that time, my mother told me her address. House number 46, Marconi Street. Clear now? Once flashback is over now. I had remembered it. Flashback is over. Now reality. I remembered that address. Marconi Street, door number 46. That is why I reached here. When I knocked at the door, when the lady didn't show any acquaintance, I recollected whether I were in a wrong place. No. Marconi Street, door number 46. It was seen on the dash. What was that word? It was seen on the dash. It was seen on the jam. It was seen on the jam. I had remembered it, but I had waited for a long time to go there. But I got the address very many days before, but I didn't dare go there. I did not try to go there. Initially, after the liberation, after the liberation means after the war. After the liberation, I was absolutely not interested in all that stored stuff. And naturally, I was also rather afraid of it. See, after the war, after the liberation, I did not take any interest to collect the old things. What is the past? It is past. She did not want that. She did not want to recollect those things. You see? I was absolutely not interested in all that stored stuff. And naturally, I was also rather afraid to go there. Afraid of being confronted with things that had belonged to a connection that no longer existed. Underline. This was a fear in her. Afraid of being confronted with things that had belonged to connection that no longer existed. That was the connection with the mother. You see, the daughter had great attachment with her mother. In the war, she lost her mother. It was a great tremor in her mind. She could not accept that tremor in her life. So whatever she had considered as her own, she had lost. Once she had lost, she did not want to think about that. She did not want to think about her mother's loss. Because that memory again makes her afraid. Clear now? When we think about the loss of our dear ones, we will try to forget it. Am I right? Because we will not be able to suffer that. So she says, hereafter I do not want to remember those things which were, those persons and things which were very close to my life, because it can add a fear in me. It can increase my pain in me. That is why I did not want to recollect those things. Underline, afraid of being confronted with things that had belonged to a connection that no longer exists. There you can write, refer mother's loss in war. Mother's loss in war, which were hidden away in cupboards, now referring to crockery, which were hidden in cupboards and boxes and waiting in vain until they were put back in their place again, which had endured all those years because they were things. They were things. Okay. The rest we will see in the class. That we will explain in the class. Okay.